There's no guaranteed knockouts. Knockouts are a bonus. It's great to knock people out, yes, but the thing is, there's no guarantee there.
What did you think of Triple G Brook? I haven't talked to you since that fight happened, Freddie. What did you think of it? Triple G and Kell Brook?
Yeah, I still think Triple G's pound for pound the best fighter in the world, and everyone says he hasn't beat anybody and so forth, but the thing is, he's beat everyone that's there. There's not a lot of competition in that weight division right now, it seems like. I think he might have to go up to maybe light heavyweight or so to get more recognition and so forth. But I think he's a very good fighter, and I thought he fought well in that fight. It was a decent fight.
Lloyd and a couple other people have told me they felt he was exposed by Kell Brook with the move in and getting hit a little too easy in there. Did you see that, Freddie, or what did you see in there?
His defense isn't as great as I thought it was. Yeah, he does get hit a little bit more, and I know his trainer says that he gets hit on purpose, so he draws the guy into a fight and so forth. And back in the day, you might do that. My father used to tell me about it. His trainer would teach him to do that, stuff like that and so forth, 1947 and something like that. But I don't think it's in today's market too much to just take punches to draw a guy in and get him closer so you can knock him out. But I don't know.
So his performance didn't change your mind about how Canelo would do against him? I think you picked Triple G to beat Canelo. Does that change anything?
Well, Canelo's getting better and better, but I don't see that fight happening right away because I still think Golden Boys kind of protect their cash cow because they don't have another one.
What did you think about Canelo's performance?
Against?
Liam Smith.
Huh?
Liam Smith.
Liam Smith.
Oh, Liam Smith. Good. Liam is a tough guy. I know Liam very well. He trains here a lot. I've been over in England with him a lot. He is a tough guy. That was a good win. I mean, he looked really good in that fight. It was impressive. I tell you, since he fought Cotto, I didn't expect him to be that good in the Cotto fight, and he's getting better. And I think he's getting better and better each fight. I think his people are doing a great job, and I think he's becoming a threat.
You said he's the best fighter at the moment. Do you agree with that, or is it okay for him to say that, to feel that?
Well, I think it's okay, yes, but the thing is, he's on a good streak and so forth. But like I said, fight Manny Pacquiao, don't gain 100 pounds after the weigh-in. We'll see.
So you're still open to that fight?
I love that fight.
Ward Kovalev, how do you see that fight going?
Tough fight. Ward seems like the layoff hurt him a little bit, and I don't think he's quite the fighter he used to be. Kovalev's really strong, he's a good puncher, but he looked like shit in his last fight too. He doesn't have as much interest in it, seeing their last fights and so forth, but I think I like both guys so much. I'm not gonna pick one or the other. I think it's a very good fight.
I've always wanted to know, how would a religious conversation between you and Manny Pacquiao?
Never.
Never?
Never. He wants to make me a better person, he's told me. He's never invited me to church or anything like that, but I probably wouldn't go. But I'm not religious, and it's the way it is. And I think Manny just accepts that. I mean, because he doesn't try to preach to me or anything like that. It's just we're very respectful for each other. We're good friends. But the religion part, I don't want to talk about like politics and religion. It's like, who cares?
Freddie, if Manny doesn't do well in this next fight, would you advise him to retire again? I know you said boxing is addicting. Do you think he would listen?
Yes, if I tell Manny to retire, I guarantee he would agree with me. We've had a great rapport, and we do have a verbal contract on that. When I tell Manny he's all done, he will quit, and I believe that he will.
What's one thing Pacquiao has to watch out for fighting Vargas?
I think being the counterpuncher at first and let Vargas being aggressive, and then that changing when Vargas starts moving and running from Manny Pacquiao, it'll be a little bit more difficult. But if he comes to us all night, that's why I think he will, and that's why I think Manny will knock him out.
Do you think Vargas has felt a punch like Manny Pacquiao?
No, Vargas is not a puncher. I mean, let's not get crazy here. He's not a big puncher, no.
how do you think he'll react to Manny Pacquiao? Do you think most likely he's going to be on the retreat or going to come forward?
I think he'll come forward naturally, and just I think once he feels Manny's power, he might change his mind and retreat.
Do you think they're looking for a knockout too?
I'm always looking for a knockout. I love knockouts. I mean, I think every fight in the world should end with a knockout, and you get rid of judges and stuff, it'd be a lot better sport.
It seemed like that was Manny's victory against Timothy was probably, in my opinion, the best that he's fought in a few fights. Was that your assessment? How would you assess Manny's performance?
That was one of the best fights I've seen Manny in a long time, and then when I saw him sparring and so forth, I thought it was even getting better and better. So I think Manny has changed a little bit, and that was coming off that fight. That's why I'm very confident in this one.
And he's been able to build on his performance on Timothy through sparring and all the training you've seen so far. Or
Yeah. I mean, the center wasn't a problem at all. I mean, the thing is, I know he's like has 2 jobs and he's working hard and so forth. But once he comes to the gym, you know what? Like he doesn't care, and I don't care if he's tired. We're gonna fucking work anyway. So the thing is there's no excuses there. I mean, there's like, if someone says we lost the fight because he just sent too much in the Senate job, that's bullshit. I mean, he's definitely ready for this fight, and I feel that this is the best Manny Pacquiao I've seen in a long time, and that's coming off his last fight and coming off what he's shown me in the gym so far for this camp.
Why do you think he's kind of hitting this kind of peak right now? It seemed like maybe for a little while he was, kind of waning, maybe slipping a little bit, but now he's starting to come on this year especially.
Well, the thing is, I mean, when you have the attitude sometimes that I don't want to hurt my opponent, I just want to beat him in a fight. I think that's not part of boxing. I think part of boxing is wanting to knock people out and so forth, and I think that he's finally realized that, and you guys have helped me because you guys write shit about him, and it's not the best. I mean, what's a better article, knocking out Ricky Hatton or winning by decision against some guy, right? I mean, he reads that. I mean, and I think that he feels that he wants the people to love him again, like they once did. I mean, he's still very lovable in the Philippines and so forth, but I think he wants to be loved by the whole world, and that's a big issue.
What's the big picture plan for you? What's the big picture plan for Manny? Because he's at that age, but now he's fighting at a little bit higher level than he did his last few years. For big picture, what do you kind of?
My idea on the big picture is he fights his fights, looks impressive, and then he gets one of the big guys out there, whoever it may be. Mayweather, Alvarez, get one of those big fights, fight that fight, and then that's it. I would like, that's my wishes, but I think depending on what happens will depend on how we go in our term. If he looks bad in one of those fights, then I tell him to retire because he's a little bit shot and his best days are behind him. That's a different issue. But if he still looks good in the fight and hasn't lost his step and hasn't really lost any of his coordination and so forth, I mean, that's where. But we only have that deal if he slips. And the thing is, if he doesn't slip, I still only want him to have about 2 more fights. I think there's nothing else he has to prove in boxing in my mind. I mean, like if we get this fight, win, look impressive, and then get one of the big fights, whoever it may be, I would like to see. I would like to see it over because I think Manny can concentrate on senator and being a president and stuff like that.
What's the biggest hype job you've ever seen in boxing? Like a fighter they said was the best and he ended up being a bum.
That happens sometimes. I mean, there's guys out there that are great in the gym and so forth and suck in fights. I mean, there are gym fighters. The biggest hype fighter of all time. I don't know, when George Foreman first came back, it was kind of like all the stiffs he was fighting was kind of a joke. But then all of a sudden he wins the world title and makes me look like a fool because I shouldn't open my mouth. I mean, so. I thought that was a big hype job at first, the biggest ever. But then when he knocked out Michael Moore, won the world title, shit, he fucking proved me wrong. That's for sure.
Speaking of the heavyweight division, who is the best heavyweight and why?
I think Joshua right now is the best heavyweight out there, but there's a couple other names out there. The kid from New Zealand's pretty good. Don't know his name, but yeah, Joseph Parker. Yeah, and I think he's pretty good. You got the crazy one from England.
He's in rehab right now, currently.
Oh, is he in rehab now?
Yes, he's in rehab. Tyson Fury. You're not talking about Klitschko right now.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Klitschko was one of the best, but he's, I think he's a little bit over the hill at this point. But at least the heavyweight division right now, at least is making a little bit of noise. A little more than it did in the past. I mean, so that's good. And who do I have? I have Tommy Morrison's son. He's 15-0 now, and his last fight, he fought a guy 13-0, and his manager was so nervous going into that fight. He said, "Freddie, are you sure that we should take this fight?" I said, Yes. I said, take the fight. So then I was so sure that we would win the fight, though, and I wanted to show him, so I made a bet with a guy for $10,000 on that fight that he would knock him out in the first round.
You're making a lot of bets these days.
And it was a friend, but I didn't collect the bet, but I did win.
I want you to bet me with Mayweather to fight Pacquiao again. I want you to bet me.
Well, I lost those $2,000
that way I get
shoes
even
last
odds.
time.
That way I get even odds.
You might get a pair of shoes, but I'm disappointed in the performance that night. I blame myself, yes, but the thing is, I know we can fight a better fight than that, and a 100% healthy fight. We will definitely talk.
I'm gonna turn this way. You guys done? Let's get one right here.
Thanks, Freddie. Appreciate it.
Stop it.
I'm gonna turn you this way.